Hey everybody, it's a fine day here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and as always I'm glad to see it. I hope everyone as always is doing well, out and about as much as you can, enjoying this beautiful day. I just had a thought, I had a thought last night that I wanted to share with everybody, with my family today, and it was a thought surrounding that stroke I had. And I think it was around the time I had the open heart surgery after the stroke to repair a heart valve. It was either that or before, when I had a brain surgery. And I think that's when it was. They had to go in through my thigh, up through my body, through my heart, and on up into my brain. And they pulled the blood clot out with some kind of new device that they guinea pigged on me. Was trying out, and thank the Most High was successful. But after that, I don't know if it was during that time, and my wife couldn't really remember because they was having surgeries back to back. But I do remember this. They had a stent put in my body, and I had to lay still for a whole hour. And this was one of the tryingest times while I was in that hospital, because when you have to sit still and lay still in a certain position for an extended period of time, it's really trying. And I think the kicker was, if I moved the wrong way, it could have cost me my life. So that added on to the stress of having to be still. In the back of my mind, thinking, oh Lord, if I move, this stent is gonna cut me up somewhere and they can't get to it, and I'm gonna die, bleed out. But then the thought came back to me that he had me prepare myself and prepare my wife before this event even took place. Like 2 months before I had the stroke, he told me, he said, Robert, there's some things that's gonna happen coming up in the future that's gonna shake your faith. But stay focused on me, and have your wife to stay focused on me and my words. So like for the next 2 months, I would just tell her almost every other day. Well, really every day for like a week or two, until I started aggravating her, and she's like, I know, and she would basically repeat back what I'd been telling her. So once I did have the stroke and was going through all them surgeries, the Most High would always remind me of that. So that held my faith. So while I was laying there and the lady was pulling the stent out little by little, which was very painful in itself, but I was doped up so it didn't hurt as bad, but I could feel it coming out little by little, and it was so stressing. But my thoughts surrounded today, as the Most High reminded me last night, where we are and where we find ourselves today, it's just like me having to sit still with that stent in my body and then pulling it out little by little. And that's what the Most High is doing for us right now. He's having us sit still for a minute, for a small moment in time, and we can't move until he finish up his job, until he finish doing what he's doing on our behalf and in us. And see, that's what I always tell people, or tell my wife. I say, God is working something in me, and he's working something out of me at the same time. And I believe that's what he's doing to and for his people at this time. But like that nurse told me, don't move, Mr. Robert. And I'm passing it on to everybody else. Don't move. Sit right there. Be patient. More than likely, it's going to save your life. Okay, everybody, stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom.